Welcome back to an episode of Let's Build Twitter. We're in episode 122. As always, if you guys do want access to that private repository, there is a link in the description down below that tells you exactly how to gain access to that. If you do want to hang out with me as I work on these episodes live, I'm trying to live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 o'clock Central Time, so you can hop in and chat with me as well. Let's hop into what we work on today. In this episode, we finally get post with the GIF from Tinner sent to the backend. We have to refactor several components on the front end to allow the application to send the post request. We also must modify our backend image and post services to save the GIF's URL only to the database. And then we wrap up with a couple odds and ends to make our front end mirror Twitter's. As always, I'm Ethan Uncutter, and let's hop straight into the development. We've hit the point where we're ready to go ahead and start making changes and start cascading all over the place basically. I'm gonna try my best to see how these all fit together and see how these next few episodes go. The end goal here is to be able to actually take that GIF that we got from the Tinner API and actually send it over to the backend and then have it in our post. So back into our code here, what we're gonna wanna do is we wanna go into our post slice and make an edit. That way we can actually update the actual post itself inside the images. So we'll go into our post slice and we're going to scroll up to the top here, and inside of our create post body, I believe, so create post body, actually no, the update post payload, we'll get to that later. So after boolean, we're going to go ahead and say post image array. So we want to be able to update the post image array as well, and I believe that should be fine for now. The changes aren't going to cascade from there. And then let's go and get rid of this. Now I believe we're going to go into our display, and in here we're going to go ahead and set up a couple things here. So forgive me if I'm missing a couple things. I just got to make sure we're doing everything properly. So yes, so what we're going to want to go ahead and do is in here under our const toggle play, we're going to say const attach a GIF to post, and this is going to be an arrow function. And inside of our arrow function, we're going to go ahead and say react.mouse event. We're going to pass in an HTML image element like so. And I think we're going to have to go ahead and make a small change to the image itself. So we'll deal with that in a second. So we're going to say let post image be a post image. We're probably going to have to import post image like so, equal to, and this is going to need a few things. So we need an image ID, and this is just going to be 0 for now. We're going to need an image name, and the image name is going to be backticks, $ curly brace, and it's going to be state.search term. We're just going to say -gif. Now we could probably make this different or get the actual name of the GIF somehow, but we're just going to do this. Image type is going to be GIF. GIF. And then finally, our image URL is going to be e.currentTarget.id. So this is going to be something that we do need to update. We'll update the image in a second to fix that. I just forgot to do it inside of my actual code here, so bear with me. We'll say let images equal to, and we're going to say post image array. We're going to say dispatch, and then we're going to dispatch or update current post. So current post, and this is going to obviously take in the name of the property we want to update. So name is going to be images, and we're going to go ahead and update it with the value of imgs. So that'll go ahead and update our current post, and that should be good to go. But now we also need to go ahead and update our image. So give me one moment here. So inside of our image, we're going to go ahead and set up an ID. So inside here, we're going to say ID is going to be equal to the GIF that we're getting passed. So that's just the URL. We also need to do an on click equal to, and the on click will go ahead and say attach GIF and then to post. So that should go ahead and attach the GIF to the post. If we want to, we could go ahead and inside of this, well, actually, no, we can't because it's going to be behind, and I can't get Redux to work, unfortunately. So we're just going to, believe that it works. And then we also need to say dispatch and update display GIF. And then we're going to go ahead and do that as well, because I think that we need to go ahead and close out of the GIF modal, or basically close the GIF modal down. So now we're basically going to do the exact same thing inside of our frozen GIF. So let's go into our frozen GIF component. And now inside of handle clicked, we're going to go ahead and make this have some curly braces. So if we're on preview, we will go ahead and dispatch this. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and say let post image be a post image, and go ahead and import that. This will be equal to, and we'll need image ID of 0, and we're going to need image name is going to once again be backticks and $ curly brace, and this is going to say text dash GIF, and then we're going to have image type will be a GIF once again. And then finally, we're going to have image URL, which is going to be image. So we have that. Now we're going to go ahead and say, once again, let images equal to, and then post image. So we'll go ahead and add that. And then finally, we're going to say dispatch. Again, I believe we should have a dispatch here, and we're going to dispatch update current post. And we're going to pass in, once again, the name of the property we want to change is images. And then finally, the value is images, like so. And then finally, we want to go ahead and dispatch, and I know it's getting a little bit small, right? Update display GIF. We're gonna go ahead and do that. So there's that. And then once again, basically on click, we already have it on there. So now that should be good to go. Now, the only thing that we have to deal with now is we need to go through and actually be able to display all this. Because right now, if we click on it, all it's going to do is close out of the modal. So if I come in here, I click on this, I click on one of these, I click on this. It just closes out the modal. It doesn't actually show anything, even though there's something in there. What we need to do is go through and fix all that up. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is go into our creator slice or our feed post creator. So come in here, go into our feed post creator, wherever it is. We have a mess in here, feed post creator and TSX. And now we need to find where we show the feed post creator images, which is right here. So now if our state.current post images.length is greater than 0, and then we're going to say or, and we need to wrap this inside parentheses, otherwise it won't work. We're going to say state.post.current post and state.post post.current post.images.length is greater than 0. And so either or. So if we either have a current post images, which are those files, or we have a GIF basically already attached to our current post. Now we can at least test to see if this works. We're not gonna be able to see anything. We can click on this. You can see that it gets bigger. So that means that there is actually a image in there inside of the Redux state. So that is working properly. So now we need to go ahead and modify the feed post creator images to display the GIF from Tinner. So now once again, we're gonna open up a whole bunch of stuff. So now we need to go feed post creator images and come in here. So now what we need to go and do is wherever we have the image container, we need to make some changes. So we're gonna say post state dot current post question mark, and then dot images dot length is equal to 0 question mark. So if we don't have anything in there, but we are displaying the feed post creator images container or component, we are gonna go ahead and call image container. Otherwise, we're gonna set up a div with a class name equal to, and this is gonna be feed dash post creator dash images dash container, and then this is going to be container dash odd. So basically it's going to do the same exact thing as the other one was doing, except we're going to do this manually. And then in here, once again, we're doing this all manually, and this is kind of a mess, but we're going to have a feed post creator image, and the image is going to equal to, and this is going to be post state dot current post question mark dot images, and then we're gonna say 0, and then dot image URL, not image type, image URL, and then we're gonna use a union just to be safe here. So if for some reason it's not there, even though it should be, we're gonna go ahead and just pass nothing. The name will go ahead and equal post state dot current post dot images, and we'll say question mark dot images 0 dot image name, or once again we'll just say empty just to be safe. So then if we do have an image, it should show up now. So let's just go ahead and double check to make sure that this is working. So if we refresh and everything, we say GIF, we go ahead and cry, hit this. Now you can see that it's working. If we hit X, it doesn't do anything because it's trying to remove it from the old one. And also edit's not actually supposed to be there whenever we do this. So that's going to be something else that we had to modify as we go here. So now we need to go ahead and modify the actual feed post creator image itself to be able to remove it. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to go into feed post creator image.tsx, and inside of the remove image, we're going to have to go ahead and make some changes. We're going to say if our state dot current post, and we're going to say state dot current post dot images dot length is greater than 0. So basically, if we have some sort of GIF in there, and the only way that this is going to have an image in here at this point, whenever we're creating a post, is because we grabbed an image from Tinner. So we're going to go ahead and dispatch, which we do have dispatch already set up. We're going to dispatch update current post, like so. And then the name, once again, will be images. And then the value will be an empty array. And the reason behind this is because, once again, the only option for this is if we are basically grabbed a Tinner GIF, we want to remove it. So we're going to go ahead and set this value to nothing. Now, I am going to say that there is a bug with this. I don't know what it is or why it's doing this. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not going to fix it because I'm not that concerned about it. But there is a small bug that we might run into here. But again, I'm not that concerned about it. We're just going to leave it as is. So we're going to let filtered equal to that. If we save this, we should be able to actually remove an image. So if we click remove, now here's the bug. If you click on GIF, so that shows up. But if you click on here, and let me move this over, and we grab an image. So if I say downloads and I try to add a GIF, you can see that it acts like there's an image there, but for some reason it's not showing up and it's acting like it down here. So there's something strange going on with that. But again, I'm not going to worry about it that much. Now it works, although now it's not working. Interesting. Okay, so we do have a bug here. I'm not sure what the problem with this is. Post is working, and let's see. Let's go through this code here. So go into our feed post creator. So current post.images.length should be greater than 0. So this should be true, and then this part's false. So that should be true and that. So I'm not sure what's going on with this. This is going to be a bug that I guess I marked down, but I swear this was working, because if we come down here, the button is enabled because it went to post active. So state.post.current post images.length is less than 1 is now false. So this part is working. Let me double check something really quickly. Okay, so it looks like I might have to wrap this inside of another parenthesis for some reason. Now let me check this again. So okay. I don't know what the deal is. So that works, but if we try to grab this GIF again, yeah, so that's still an issue. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll debug that, but that's not but the other problem is fixed, so that's good to go for now. Most likely it's not going to be that big of an issue anyway. So now we can go ahead and remove that. Now another problem is whenever we go ahead and add a GIF like this, so just grab one, you can see that we can't actually send the post. Now we need to actually go ahead and modify that so we can go through and send that post over. So let's go ahead and go back into here and go into our feed post creator, go down to this. So what we need to go ahead and do is, if this is true and this is true, that's fine, but we need to add another and. So we're going to say and we're going to go ahead and wrap this in curly braces again. We're going to state.post.current post and state.post.current post, and we're going to say images.length less than 1. All right, and we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to copy that here, excuse me, and we're going to go ahead and paste it here. So and whoops, I didn't get everything. So let me go ahead and try that again and copy this all the way through. I don't think that we need to wrap this entire thing inside of a parentheses, but I could be wrong, I guess. Now this should work and all should be well. So that's good to go. We're at about 15 minutes. Let me double check how much Java we have to do before I decide whether or not I'm going to go ahead and commit to this, because I'd like to go ahead and get the images posted, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to do all of that. Let's gonna go ahead and trudge along, and then if we need to split this in some way, we'll split it or make a long video. It's fine. So now we're gonna go ahead and go back into Java. We need to make a couple changes so we can actually send this over. So back in Java, what we need to do is we need to go open up here, go into source main Java, and we're gonna go into our DTO and our create post DTO. And inside of our create post DTO, under our replies, we're gonna say a list of image. We're gonna say images, like so. And we're going to say private, of course. So private list of images. Go ahead and import our list of images like so, maybe. Okay, can you please, I don't know why it's being dumb. Please, and it won't even let me grab from Java to util. There, finally. And then the image should come from models. Okay. Cool, thank you. And then inside of our replies, we'll have a list, image, images, and then this dot list, or this dot images equal to images. And then underneath our get replies, we'll go ahead and we'll just right click, go into source and generate getters and setters. We'll generate getters and setters for images. And then finally, we'll go down to our toString. We're going to delete the toString, right click, source, and then generate a toString. And that's good to go. So now that is set up. Now things are going to break, and that's fine. Next, what we need to do is we need to modify the image service. We're going to go into our services, image service. We're going to go ahead and make a new public image. And we're going to say save GIF from, and then this is going to be post. We're going to have image. We're going to take in the image, and then this is just going to say return image repository. And then this is just going to say .save. We're going to pass in that image. So they're just going to take in the image that we passed, because the thing about the GIF is it's already stored on a server somewhere else. So we're not going to go ahead and store it on our file system. So now back into our post service, we need to go ahead and modify the create post. So at the top here, we're going to say image, and we're going to say saved GIF. And we might need to import image. Nope, we're good. So we're going to say if our DTO dot get images and dot size is greater than 0. So this means that we have a single GIF from tenor. So we're going to say if true, there is a single GIF from tenor. So then we need to go ahead and store this on a database. We're going to say list of image. List of image. And we're going to say GIF list is equal to DTO dot get images. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to say image GIF is equal to, and we're going to say, we could just say GIF list dot get 0 basically. And we're going to say GIF dot set, and we're going to go ahead and set image path. And we're going to set this to GIF dot get, or just going to say GIF dot get URL. And that'll be fine. GIF dot get image path. This should be set, my bad, set image path. There we go. And we're going to say saved GIF is now equal to image service, and then dot save a GIF from image. We're going to pass in that GIF, and let me fix this, saved GIF. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to say GIF list dot remove 0. So we're going to go ahead and remove that first GIF. We're going to say GIF list dot add. We're going to add in that saved GIF, and we're going to go ahead and say DTO dot set. Then we're going to go ahead and set images to this new GIF list. So then we go ahead and modify all that. So now whenever we go ahead, and I guess I made this slightly different than the code that I have elsewhere, but we can just say p.set images, and then we're going to go ahead and say DTO, not GTO, DTO.get. I'm going to grab the images, and then whenever we save the image, that should be fine. I don't know why I have it different in here versus the code that I have elsewhere. But now theoretically, we should be able to send a post that has a GIF attached to it. And now we're going to have to do the rest of the cascading changes that break a few things here and there. So back inside of our JavaScript, and hopefully we don't have to do too much debugging here, but back in our JavaScript, we're going to go ahead and go back to our post slice. And then inside of our create post body, we're going to go ahead and pass in an images post image. So this is going to say images post image array, right? And then now this is going to break this one because this one has images. So I'm going to say image files, which is a file array. Okay, and now this is going to break a couple things. So now in here, we're going to say our images are equal to, and this is going to be body.images, right? And that should be good. And then now here, images is going to be body.image files. And then now that should also be good to go. Now keep in mind that feed post create is broken, but I believe that's all we need to change. So we just need to make sure that we have our body.images set in here. And we also need to make sure that now our const images is body.image files, and everything else should be absolutely fine. So that's set up. So now the next thing we need to go ahead and do is obviously modify the feed post creator, which is yelling at us just because whenever we create this, the body doesn't actually match up with what it wants. So now inside of here, our images is going to equal state dot post, and this is going to be dot current post dot images, like so, and then that's fine. And now instead of images in this one, so this one we can just have an empty array, I believe, because we're going to send images a different way, but we still need image files, and image files is going to be state dot post dot and then current post images, whoops, current post images, like that. And I believe that should fix that, at least I hope so, because I don't have the debugging prowess that I have with the other one, but that should be good to go as well. So now we just need to go ahead and modify a couple of things. I think actually technically we should be able to send a post and see what happens. So let's actually go ahead and try to send a post, because the rest of this is just kind of modifying some things to make it so that things don't pop up that aren't supposed to be there. Technically speaking, this should be able to make a post now. So let's go back into here. Let's go ahead and make a post, and we'll say hello. And then we're gonna grab Forrest waving hello, be like, hello, this is a test post with a GIF. And if we send is sent off, let's go into Postman real quick. Now hopefully this worked. Let's also go ahead and quickly check. So no errors here, so that's a good sign. If we go into /post get hello, this is a post with a GIF, and let's see, I do not see, well, that's the author, I guess. So images, we can see 3, hello GIF, GIF, and null. So that worked exactly how we expected it to. So that is great. I know I'm kind of rushing here, but I would kind of like to get this all in one episode, and I think we got enough time to. So now the last couple things that we need to do is whenever we hit GIF and add one of these, obviously those should probably be a pointer, but the edit icon's not supposed to be there, and tag people's not supposed to be there. So those are the last two things that we need to modify. So now we're going to go into our feed post creator image. So let's go back into our code and go into our feed post creator image, and in here we're going to go ahead and update this. So now this is going to have a type string on there, and we're going to also pass in the type here. Right, and this is going to break a couple other things, so that's completely fine. So now what we're going to go and do is where the remove icon is, we're going to go ahead and just kidding, not remove the edit icon, my bad. So where the edit icon is, we're going to go ahead and wrap this inside of curly braces, because we don't always want to show the edit, we do always want to show the remove. So now we're going to go ahead and say type is equal to get image / GIF, or it's equal to GIF. It depends on where it comes from, question mark. So if that's the case, we're going to just have an empty fragment. Otherwise, we can go ahead and display that. Now, this is obviously broken because our feed post creator images does not like that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to go into our feed post creator images. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to go into, first, we're going to go into the utils. So let me open up the utils real quick. So go in here, go into our feed utils, and we're going to modify this first. So each one of these should be pretty easy. So here, before the key, we're going to say type, and type is going to be equal to image.type. And then same thing, let's just copy this one, paste it there, and then copy this one, paste it there, and this one will be image0.type, I believe, or is it images0.type? Okay, cool. That one was the easy fix. Now we need to go back into our feed post creator, and the same thing needs to happen here. So if this is the case, then we know it's a GIF, so we should just be able to say type equal, whoops, let's make sure we put it in the right spot. We should be able to just say type equal to GIF here. So type equal, and then this is going to just say GIF. If I wasn't lazy, I could probably say image/GIF and save on the other one. But that should basically set it up so that the edit icon doesn't pop up. So let's go ahead and just take a look. So if we pop in here, you can see there's no edit icon. Now keep in mind, we need to update this, but that's not something that I've thought about yet. We'll deal with that later. And then finally, we're going to go back into our feed utils creator because the tag people should not pop up, like I said. So this shouldn't be here whenever it's a GIF. So what we're going to go and do is we're going to our feed utils, which I think that I just closed out of and I forgot that I needed. So let's go back into feed utils, and we're going to set up a new function. So we're going to say export function, and this is going to be called display tag people, and this is because there's multiple different things. So state will be a post slice state, and we're also going to pass in a toggle tag people modal, and this is really annoying, but it's a mouse event handler, and this is going to be an HTML paragraph element, and this is going to return a JSX.element. All right, so basically we can say if our state dot current post and our state dot current post images dot length is greater than 0. What this is going to say, it's going to say return. We don't need to wrap it like this, but I like to. This is going to have a div class name equal to, we're going to say feed post creator images options or option, and this is going to say via tenor, and this is basically what Twitter says whenever it's from tenor. We'll say if, because we return there, state dot current post images 0 dot type is equal to image slash GIF. Again, this is going to work because no matter what, there's a GIF, it's always going to be the first one because you can't have more than one. We're going to return an empty fragment. Otherwise, outside of there, we're going to go ahead and return, and we're going to go ahead and return what we already have in there. So if we go to feed post creator images, we're going to go ahead and copy the tag people thing we have here. So grab this, and we'll go ahead and paste that there. And then we also need to bring in that tag people SVG, so that's no big deal. So basically, if it's some other type of image, we'll go ahead and allow it to be tag people. So now all we need to go ahead and do is go back into our feed post creator, and now we're going to go ahead and just call display tag people, and we're going to pass in the post date. We're going to pass in the toggle tag people modal, and now theoretically, and we got this all done in record time. So now it says via tenor. If we refresh this, because there's that bug, I might go through it and double check. But if we grab this, we grab chef's kiss. Now it just says add description. And if we refresh, I don't know how deep this runs. I don't know if it's whenever you add a GIF or whatever. Let me go ahead and just grab a random image. So if we just grab this JS image, we can still tag people, and that's all good to go. Cool. So now we can send posts with the GIFs in there. So that is all good to go. So now we want to go ahead and start taking a look at possibly dealing with the creating of polls, and we'll have to do that on the back end and then do some work on the front end. And then also this one should be pretty easy. We just don't have that set up yet, but that should be pretty easy. I'm just going to get a JSON of that, but that's all I got to work on today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially at that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.